You saw that. They are like kings. But in Abuja today, where in their usual manner present themselves for the job well done. If Nigeria is not working for you and you can't do anything about it, that is your own fault. For these guys, everything is fine. So let's go to that Abuja. And I'm going to start with Kolu as well. All right. Normally, I was going to probably from security part go to that same Abuja, or probably let you hear from Wiki. I think we should hear from Wiki because he's talking about that same insecurity. After all the dance and all that over the weekend, right? It was finally doing something, or probably pretending to be doing something about the invasion of Abuja. Because right now, they are even asking that they should declare Abuja the unsafest city in Nigeria. In fact, there are other I don't know if you have heard this, but there's a particular conspiracy going on now. You probably haven't heard it, and I'm the one telling you first, okay? The Northerners, they are now, they are pushing so many conspiracies right now just to kind of let their people believe that they cannot trust Tinubu. Okay, they believe that it doesn't give a damn about them, which is true, right? They are right about that one. It doesn't give a damn about you. If you are a Northerner, you're on your own. Listen to me. So they know that. So when Tinubu and his crew said they are moving some operational offices down to Lagos to decongest Abuja, so people were like, the Northerners like that, they're like, if you want to decongest Central Bank in Abuja, why did you not take them to, let's say, Akwa Ibom? Why Lagos? Lagos that is already choked. So if you are talking about decongesting, so it's not decongesting. No, they are going to move Central Bank finally back to Lagos by the time Tinubu is done. This is the impression on the Northerners. So sure you get. You see this insecurity that has enveloped Abuja, and the kidnappings that continues and is increasing, even though they are telling themselves that everything is fine now. People are just exaggerating. Listen, the Northerners are kind of pushing a conspiracy that, so they will just say, since Abuja is not safe, they should move the Nigerian capital back to Lagos. And with Tinubu, he will do that. And that will be a slap on the face of the Northerners. And I'm like, anything will go cause wahala between all of you now until you kind of decide to break up this shit or this contraption, save the lives of the people that are trapped in it. It's a welcome development, but Wiki is pretending to be doing something. Viable TV, give us taste.
Sit down. Sit down, please. The Eda Council Chairman. Yes, sir. Buhari is there. Yes, sir. And Nabaj is not here. Secretary, FCD, Commissioner of Police, and others, heads of security agencies that are here, area council chairman, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure this is just for the sake of the press before we're going to a closed door meeting. All of us are aware of the security situation in the Federal Capital Territory, particularly Owerri and some other areas that were witnessed security challenges. Yes, I'm aware that sometimes too the press overblow the what is happening. But all of us are concerned as the Federal Capital Authority that houses virtually every Nigerian. We owe a duty to make sure that this place is safe. We'll do all we can, and we're sure Nigerians who reside here that there's no need for panic. We're taking every step to make sure that those challenges are things that we must have to resolve. So this meeting is practically to look into such challenges and see how we'll be able to resolve the problems. And that's why we invited all the council chairmen, because they also have a responsibility in their various area councils. So put our head together and come up with solutions. So for the press, it's just for you to know that we are not sleeping. Security agencies are also not sleeping. We provide every support that they require in order to allay the fears of the citizens or residents. And this time around, we will not be happy where area council chairmen will abdicate their responsibility and travel out. We have gotten reports that council chairmen travel anytime, and then if anything happens, of course, they will not call anybody's name. They will call the FCT minister. Recently, NUT has embarked on strike. It is not because of our fault, it is area council. Primary schools are under the purview of the area councils. But again, it will look as if the ministers are doing nothing. But that is not our responsibility. However, we can't fold our hands. We have invited them to a meeting this afternoon to see how we can also resolve the problem. So, council chairman should know that he must live up to their responsibility. It's not everything that happens they will say it is the ministers that are not taking steps. So for information, just know that we are doing everything we can to resolve the security challenges.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
Now, let me ask you one question. Those of you who watched that and you listened to him, did it sound like somebody who they just woke up, like you have a press conference with people at 2 o'clock, sir? Oh no, I'm still hangover. Oh no, it's the local government chairman that you said we should, the council area chairman that you said we should call to discuss the insecurity in Abuja. Oh, those people don't do anything. Everybody just want to see the minister. Everybody is minister. And, damn it. Sir, they are already here, sir. And, all right, tell them I'm coming. That's the vibe I kind of felt there. That is not somebody who is on top of any situation. He's not on top of any. We are doing everything to possible to make sure that he even said the media is overblowing it. Shame you saw. Did I not tell you that? That may you not become a statistic that they will say the media is exaggerating your situation. Imagine if the terrorists also have, they do have internet. Excuse me, they have internet, right? Imagine if some of them are also seeing the reactions of the government that should come after them for kidnapping you. And they are just like, those are the people in charge of Nigeria. Those are the people that will tell you everything is fine. And then you can tell yourself and say, the minister said everything is fine. No, everything is not fine. You are on your own. And Abuja people, a lot of you are kind of well-to-do. You should be able to afford to buy your own protection. Police cannot protect you. Military cannot protect you. Of course, the government cannot protect you. In this case now, it will even be a better breaking news if they talk, say, in your estate. Imagine those of you. Jesus, Abuja, where some of you feels like you are kind of rich, being cocon here. You move into an estate. Your estate self not even get security per se. Or if it's a security with, I don't know, maybe Shakabula or what have you. And all of them are there inside with a multi-billion naira worth of properties. Or if they put all of it together, they will see like you are into, you are like you worth hundreds of billions of naira. Then terrorists will just walk into that same your estate, break your door, kidnap your children, kidnap your family. So what about we start seeing the news that they approached a house in Kubwa, or they approach a house in Egbeda, or approach a house in anywhere, and when they try to break in, the house owner just down like about 6 of them. Imagine, breaking news, 6 terrorists gone down in self-defense. Wouldn't that be something sweet? Would that be something worthwhile that you are doing for your family? Even if you are somebody who doesn't like gun and all of that, what about you begin to kind of look into few ones that can actually protect you? I mean, it doesn't have to be automatic guns per se, right? Do you know that before you have a gun in Nigeria? So how could you be living in Abuja and you are waiting for terrorists to walk into your house and, like, you know this situation, you are waiting for the criminals who are not interested in you. They've traded you off already. So this is me imagining it. So if I am somebody from Odogbolu Ijebu, and somehow, I moved to Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, there must be something that is going on in my life that will move me to Abuja. If not, what's my business there? What would I do there? So if if I now have to like make my family live there, would I count on people like this Wiki? Would I? Or even your Tifnumbu? Me as a Ijebu man living in Glasgow, Scotland. If they kidnap me now, it doesn't mean that if they kidnap me in the UK, okay? Sorry, not that I can't be kidnapped in the UK. Oh. Don't get it wrong. Oh. You get. If there is nowhere that some people can take some people, there will be no word called kidnapping. You know, say kidnapping or kidnappers, they are English words, which means there are kidnappers everywhere. But you see this me, low budget Will Smithy. If they kidnap me in Scotland here in Glasgow, number one, it is not just the entire people in Glasgow that will be aware and be looking for me. It is the entire people in Scotland and the entire UK. The news will spread beyond UK and it will spread to Europe. As the news continues to spread, it's going to enter Nigeria. Everybody will know that Otijima Yegungbeo in Glasgow. But there's something you can be assured of. Even if my kidnappers kill me, you know the justice that I'll be smiling like that as I enter the cloud to go and meet the sky daddy. Is the fact that very soon my kidnapper will be on the next flight too. My kidnapper will be on the next flight too. It will only be lucky not to kind of catch the next flight. If somehow, it kind of surrender and just, okay, take me. And you will never see him again or her. That's guaranteed. There is nothing called immunity. You will never see that person again. Live, And that is called justice. In Nigeria, if that didn't happen here, if my own first minister, the Scottish first minister, is not in the country, he will return immediately. It doesn't matter whatever it is there is involved in, or any assignment he's doing abroad, he will return immediately to Scotland. If it becomes something bigger, that a day, 2 days, they haven't found me, and they believe that this is somebody who is a politically exposed person, this is not ordinary, this could be act of terrorism. If they heighten it, the UK Prime Minister, it will become something that they will even discuss in their parliament. But in Nigeria, come on, nobody cares about anybody. It's only when the media begin to talk about your case, so these criminals in government will now pretend to be, oh, yeah, sorry about what happened. We are going to do everything to make sure that we help you. We go and ask all the victims of Nigeria. Nobody reach out to them. You will deal with the trauma for the rest of your life. So how much is getting your own personal protection will be, even if you are going to die, or even if anything is going to happen? Won't you smile to heaven that at least in defense of yourself and your family household, you manage to shorten the numbers of the assailants and the criminals, that they do not return back alive? I'm saying this because I'm saying if I'm living in Abuja, it will be so stupid to kind of pretend that all of this is not happening. And you are just chasing the money and all of that. And while you are chasing the money, you are back home one day, one night, and there you are thinking about how it's going to be tomorrow again, and bah. Before you know it, they don't kidnap you inside your house. And there you are. Everybody have to go and raise 100 million, 200 million, 500 million. You just have no idea what the ransom is going to be. You yourself will be the one to be like, is this going to be my end? And it's not just Abuja, it's everywhere. All right. So the explosion in Ibadan is not being treated as bomb blast. Okay. They are not treating it as bomb blast. They are treating it as a gas explosion. Gas explosion that could be heard as far, it could be heard in distance of over 10, 15 kilometers away. We'll wait till tomorrow. For now, they said 2 people are dead, and they have no idea of how many people injured. I have seen videos of people's shattered body. I have seen videos of people's burnt body, like, burnt with cloth and all that. I can't share that with you, and I bet a lot of you would have seen them too. Just like I told you, when the information pops in, I will share them with you. Listen to this lady.
Sorry, please come again. Sorry, good evening. Sorry, please come again. What really happened?
I'm not there, but my mom stays in Adeyi with
Okay.
my sister and my son.
Okay.
So they are badly injured. The house is demolished on them.
Demolished on them.
Yes,
Fuck.
they're stitching their legs, their hands.
They are still in the hospital now.
Yes,
Which
they're
hospital are they now?
Redeemer Hospital.
Redeemer Hospital. Beside the small, right?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. All right, God will see them.
Amen. So the explosion, right, as collapsed some buildings while people are inside. So that's why we have no idea the number of casualties and the number of injured and the number of the extent of the damages. But they were in Abuja today giving themselves pat on the back. Well done. You promised not to interfere, to interfere in my government. And you have not interfered in my government. That's Tinubu praising Bokwari, because Femi Oponu Adeshina is trying to now tell the story of Bokwari, and they call it history, something that the future generation will read. Do you see why Mayegun's diary political is so crucial and important? This is how they write their bogus history. This is how they wrote the history that Muritala Muhammad is a hero. Obasanjo is a hero. Bokwari is a hero. They even had to print Muritala's face on one of their currencies. They named airports after him. They named stadiums after him. They named streets after him so that he will never be forgotten, because it was one of the heroes that brought to an end the Biafra genocide. The genocidists were rewarded. Bokuwari, that should be probably like rotting away from for war crimes, he was rewarded. He also became head of state and all that. Then he came back 30 years later to kind of further destroy the lives of those he could. And 63,000, officially 63,115 Nigerians were killed by terrorists. All right. The other data about those who died of hunger, who died of poor health, not being able to afford health care and all that, right? Those, we have no figure of that. But those killed violently by terrorists under this criminal, they are writing a book to retell that so that they can give it to your children and say Bokuwari was one of the greatest Nigerian leaders or dealers. Here is a Tinubu at the hall where Femi Oponu Adeshina's book about Bokuwari was being launched. Again, this time, right, they kind of gave him a piece of paper to read from, but he's still fired off, as usual, all right? Tinubu, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for all you've done for this country. You've been a mother, a leader, and a good wife. Thank you. Let me thank the organizers of today's book launch for providing me the opportunity and the ambience to reunite with my predecessor, former President Muhammadu Buhari, since he left the office, May 29, 2023. After handing over, you said, I would far away in Daura. But if you need me, contact me. But I won't intrude in whatever you are doing. I won't interfere or breathe down your throat. We've partnered to make democracy flourish in Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari, thank you. Except when I call him to say, are you leaving? Are you being in the farm? You don't hear from him either to nominate or intrude in the cabinet or complain about occasions. Thank you for being who you are, a civic. When you left the office, you left many barrels and a bunch of tasks for me for continuity. And I told people, I inherit the asset and liability of my predecessor. No matter what I say. We always joke sometimes. And you say you can never please Nigerians. But yours is to focus, work hard, and satisfy your conscience. You have done that. It is reflected here. You serve our country with dedication and a common seal. I was talking to somebody last night that I'll be at this book launch. Said, oh, I remember you sold us Buhari. I said, stop where you are. I'm not talking to you about a disclaimer. I'm talking to you about a program that I really appreciated and will continue to appreciate. Being here face to face with you is being here with a great documentation of history, candor, integrity, and character.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Do you see what I told you? Eh? That is how they kind of, tell themselves like, I'm Bokwari. That's what they were telling him. Remember, for 8 years, you are doing so well. You have defeated Boko Haram. You have made Nigeria great. And all of you know, say Nigeria don't enter canal. Then you sit down there, you don't know if you are to get angry or just to laugh. Because things have gotten to a stage whereby you just be like, man, I don't even know how to react, my ego. But you have to react. You have to tell the people the truth. You have to speak out. When you keep quiet, when you keep your mouth shut, when they do things like this, even they themselves will begin to believe their own lies. Have you not been saying it? They were telling Bokwari that he defeated Boko Haram. Nigeria is safer. They are telling Tinubu the same thing right now. So if you don't talk, if you don't react, if you don't kind of rejig the people, not only the people that will believe all these lies, even though they know the danger they are walking into every day, they themselves know. It's not only the people that will begin to believe what they say, even they themselves will begin to believe. See Bokwari who sat there now, and Tinubu kind of is like, praise, thank you, my predecessor, my chan. Listen to the other part. Meanwhile, hang on. Currently on YouTube, which is where it is happening, right? I mean, we are over 2,200, right? But I have tried to persuade a lot of you to always remember, right, to like the broadcast. When you like the broadcast, and more of you, how could we have 2,000 people and we only have just about 500 or 600 of us who have actually shown that they are here? Please do, right? Now, Kolu, this is the part where they are praising themselves and telling themselves how great they have done. I inherited liabilities and assets. The two words they told him to be using. But when he's talking to you as well, it will be like when he's talking about Bokwari, he has to say, I inherited liability and assets. You inherited a country that is scrap. You can't even sell it for scrap with what they have done with Nigeria. But they are telling themselves, do you understand, that if not for them, it would have been even worse. Here.
The economy was prowling into recession. Boko Haram has taken over so many local governments and some part of our country. It is easy to forget that United Nations building was attacked here in Abuja. It's easy to forget the role of armed forces. But if this book is carefully read and taught in terms of substance in our various schools, the job of securing every inch of our nation may not be completed, but you did a wonderful job. And we will not rest, I promise you, until every agent of darkness is completely eliminated. It's a sovereign country. I'm glad to listen to you making a commitment to my administration for support and real politician, a Democrat in you, that we are still dedicated and committed to our party. The largest party in Africa. Well, I've emulated you. One of those is non-interference, being a Democrat, responsibility for nation building, staying on course. I am determined to do just that because I campaigned for this job. And you told me in our discussions, it's not easy. But I went out there dancing for it, making promises, doing kokuma, doing all kalangos, making music, so I cannot complain. I will be there. In addition to going through the Niger Bridge and many other things we've done, people would not realize the interconnectivity necessary for economic growth in our rail project, in our port project. How vital it is to the economic growth of this nation. A silent worker, a man who is a very, very organized and disciplined individual. President Muhammadu Buhari, thank you for what you've done. To many of you, I thank you for coming to this event.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
Fellow brethren, this is just the beginning. I'm so sorry that it might look like I decided to torment you, as somebody put it there. I did not plan to torment you. And everyone who is familiar with how we see Tinubu on Mayegun's Diary Politico is like a clown, all right, that is wearing a crown. And if a clown is crowned, what do you expect? Circus. So when you look at Tinubu, I see Ojopagogo. If you don't know who is Ojopagogo, pick up your phone now. Yeah, pick up your phone and type into the browser O-J-O P-A-G-O-G-O. Ojopagogo. Ojopagogo. Come back and tell me. So when you listen to Ojopagogo, you are not expecting anything sensible. You just want to, like what the Yoruba says, were dunwo, koshe bilomo. And for those who still have their minds, their brains intact, they could see the embarrassment that Nigeria has become in front of them. It is to remind you every time how down and how low Nigeria have sunk. It is not to torment you at all. It is to remind you that it will continue to go low and low and low. And the way Nigeria is going down and down and down, Baba won a crude oil. And no thanks to these criminals that you see on your screens. Charlatans, inefficient bunch of career criminals. Criminals grow old. Foolish people grow old. Stupid people grow old. And that they are now older will not make them less stupid, less foolish, or less criminal. Do you understand? Because that's exactly what I have seen in the actual job that Femi Oponu-Adesina is trying to cook. Femi Oponu-Adesina is trying to retell the story, the horror of the Boko Haram's regime. And they want to give that to your children in schools. None of my own children will ever touch that nonsense. Working with Boko Haram. The lies. And the division, the destruction of Nigeria with no single responsibility. Come on. Sheung was holding him down on Channels Television. And I love the question he asked him, Femi Oponu-Adesina. It was like, listen, we've seen the result of your 8 years. Nigeria is worse off. The report is coming out now. Tinubu is just not bold enough to tell Nigerians that Nigeria is done for. Like, what's your pride? What did you put in that book? What are those lies? That's not how he asked the question, by the way, right? I kind of still like it, though. Listen to Femi Oponu-Adesina. He just resurfaced from somewhere, cash out on this, and it's going to disappear. Afterward, you will never hear from him. Even before Femi Oponu-Adesina, guess who came out today as well? Pastor Ruga. It's been a while, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it's been a while. Pastor Ruga was out today too to honor Femi Oponu-Adesina's lies, to repackage and resell Boko Haram. So Pastor Ruga Pastor Ruga and El Rufaya, Kaduna Littlefinger, they both met at Boko Haram's book launch today. Now, Littlefinger also spoke there, but I didn't have a copy. But as for Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu, Agbowori Babaoja, I'm not sure if he is still working as a special advisor to Boko Haram on burial arrangements, condolences visits. Obviously not a trader's money anymore, right? Shadia took that. But Pastor Ruga was there. And as a pastor, he won't stop lying again. This is the one on record before Femi Oponu-Adesina, ladies and gentlemen. Pastor Ruga.
Permit me to share a few anecdotes. Femi Adesina writes that on the day that the then President Buhari, because this was his first day in office at the villa, he requested him to meet with journalists accredited to the villa in the State House Press Gallery. And the President came in, he shook hands with them, with all the journalists, and as they introduced themselves, he had something to say to each of them. Then when Juliana Taiwo Obaloye introduced herself as representing the Sun newspapers, the President said, "Warn your cartoonist, warn your cartoonist. My chin is not as long as it usually makes it." Sometime in 2019, I complained to him very bitterly about a libelous comment that was made against me, and that I wanted to give him notice that I would be suing those who had libeled me. And he said to me in his usual style, Professor, don't let these people bother you. Do you know what they did to me recently? They actually printed an invitation card that I was going to get married. On a Friday at the National Mosque, he said that you won't believe Nigerians. There were thousands of them waiting for me at the National, waiting for me to come and get married. And to tell you that President Buhari was always ready to laugh at himself. Of course, we've heard already from General IBM Haruna retired of how, when he was being criticized about his journeys and all that. But the second part of that story is that
Ede Aguero nìyẹn o. Pastor Ruga, their usual star boy. He was their poster boy. They said that Boko Haram will be fighting the physical war with the terrorists. Pastor Ruga will be fighting spiritual war. Baba nígbà tí ogun dé, when the ogun came, at the spiritual war, at the physical war, the terrorists were using Nigerians as a game. Look at that one running. Look at it. Shoot him. Oh, got okay, another one. They were picking Nigerians up like they are, you can't even pick animals up that way. And then they are making videos of them. But I don't think Femi Adesina put that in his book. Right? Here.
Analyzing and appraising President Buhari's time in office. And one of them is also someone who served in his cabinet. And those descriptions include being ineffective. He doesn't care. As long as it doesn't affect him, he's indecisive.
Who was it?
I mean, there is a former minister who was on the program. He said, look, if Buhari appoints you a former minister of communication.
I watched this.
He said, if Buhari appoints you, he will not even, if you don't go and meet him,
it was twisted. It was twisted.
Did you watch it?
I watched it. I watched Shitu, Minister Shitu. I watched it. Yeah. What he said was that Buhari gave you free hand to run. But it was twisted. It was twisted as being not interested and as being ineffective. I'm sure if you ask Minister Shitu again, the true meaning of what he said, he will tell you that his words were twisted.
Well, I mean, if those who say that when the president gives you a job to do, he just allows you to do it, yes, even when you are failing. There are those who failed in their roles as minister, and the president kept them for 8 years.
You didn't appoint them. You didn't appoint them.
But Nigerians, they serve Nigerians, and Nigerians could have judged them.
Is the appointer that can judge them.
But Nigerians, they were working for Nigerians.
The person, let me quote the good book. It says, who are you that judges another man's servant? It is before his master that he either rises or falls. That's what the good book says. So it is the person who appoints you that can really judge you. I mean, because there must be things he gave you to do by which he will judge you. And if by his own judgment you have met the goals he set for you, then who are you to say such person didn't meet the goal?
How would you describe President Buhari's pace? I mean, this reflections in his pace to handling things. The first attempt in his activities will be appointing ministers, which took him about 6 months to do. And there are those who will say that sluggish tendency affected the economy largely. With a benefit of hindsight, looking at things now, do you think that there could have been a better pace in the former president's handling of some things.
Now look at the first term, took about that 6 months. The second term, ministers were appointed in August.
After they were sworn in, I mean, after he was sworn in May.
Yes, they were sworn in August.
That's the 4th month after he was.
Yes.
And those who will say that is even still very late.
No.
For someone who is coming back into office.
No, it depends. It depends on what were the variables. In the first term, you
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
For those of you who probably have forgotten Femi Adesina, like these guys became so arrogant. I mean, so condescending to the point that it was like, you know, they are not responsible to Nigerians. Like, what are you going to do? We are working for Bukwari. Nigerians will be telling themselves that you are working for us. And they will say, no. Did you hear where he kind of quoted the Bible? That's what they do. Femi Adesina, a pastor, he was the one who told us that our land or our lives. What is the purpose of your land if you lose your life? So you can choose between your land or your lives. For